Welcome to my Takeout, my Emil Amok's Takeout. We're live. We're a little later. Got a little delayed, but it's momentarily. We're here now live. Professor Dan will be joining me in a bit. We usually come on around 2, sometimes 1. But, it's been a weird week, right? I mean, after Easter, after, the genocidal email, right? A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Wow. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. It probably will. I mean, thank goodness, right? But then we had all the pain, right? Well, it's going to happen. Oh, it didn't happen. Oh, that's because we have this ceasefire that's not really a ceasefire. And poor Lebanon getting bombarded by Israel. The United States, no one's talking. It seems to have been something that buys time for the U.S. because how many days can you sustain $2 billion in losses from military equipment blown up by, $20,000 drones? And then you have, the whole situation where, we win, but we can't just leave because we haven't won. And so we continue to bomb, or we needed a ceasefire. We needed an American surrender, is what it is, an American surrender. So sorry about that. We had a connection issue. But so I've been kind of not sullen. I've also been dealing with the medical issue. And here's what I have to say about that. If you are healthy, that is everything. I know my mom used to say your wealth is your health. I've been seeing previews of Kara Swisher Wants to Live Forever and hearing her talk about it. I actually like her. It's going to be on CNN this weekend. I actually like this repositioning of how you look at life. It's not lifespan that we're talking about. It's health span. Because the healthier you are, and when the health span matches your lifespan, great. You win. And our lifespan is said to be 80-something, 90-something. But the health span usually blows up around 75 or maybe 80. And then you live another 10 years or 15 years, and that span of your lifespan, that part of your lifespan, not so good. If you can expand the health span to equal the lifespan, oh my God, you're a winner. If, you're healthy every day, that you're 95, good. It's just that we're healthy. If we live to 95 lifespan, our health span might be 80. We spend 15 years in a home, in a hospital, something. I hope not. How do you deal with that? You eat healthy, you take care of yourself. Instead of putting pharmaceuticals in your body, you put real nutritious food. You eat well, you watch. You don't eat as much fat. I don't want to say everything in moderation because that may be too much for someone who is intolerant of moderation. You might need less, but pay attention to your body, what you put in it. Health span equals lifespan. You're the winner. So I have had, in the last 3 weeks, an experience with my health that is making me wonder about, have I reached a point of my health span where I'm saying, oh, this is what it's like to be older. This is what it's like to be, in some kind of pain and in the medical system, meaning I got to go to a doctor. I got to seek their help. Look, I've got the good insurance, right? I got old guy insurance. I wish everyone had old guy insurance because then it would be as close to universal health care as American can get it. But it doesn't mean it's perfect, because I think the best thing is you got to get a GP. You got to get a GP because the GP is your point guard. not a shooting guard like Seth Curry, more like a point guard who distributes the ball. A Henry Bibby type, although Henry Bibby was a good shooter too. But a guy who has the ball, distributes to the forward, the center, to the shooting guard. He doesn't even need to know medicine. The distributor just is the bureaucratic hub. But you need a good one. You need someone who knows something because he's your GP. And the way medicine is all split up into different divisions, like this guy takes your head, your body, your limbs, your heart, your liver, your gastro. I mean, it's not one size fits all. But and you would be surprised how little doctors know about some stuff that you think they should know about. For example, how many doctors do you think really know about nutrition? Of the doctors you know, ask them their background. Did they take any classes in nutrition? I would say 80% of people would say zero. No, I don't know nutrition. I know what I read. I'm a doctor. Do they know nutrition? Zero. No, they don't. And that's why what they do know is not nutrition. They do know pharmaceutical companies. And when pharmaceutical companies give them drugs that they should dispense, hey, those doctors are happy because they're in the system. I'm just telling you, once you get to know the medical system, you say, wow, there's only one answer. Stay healthy, my friend. Stay healthy, my friend. That's what is. I saw a commercial with that guy, the most interesting man in the world. He's still saying, stay thirsty, my friend. Still selling beer. But he's an artist now. He's an artist in this latest commercial. But I'm going to take from the most interesting man in the world, adjust that phrase, stay healthy, my friend. Stay healthy. That means don't drink as much. Eat more vegetables. Get more rest. Stay out of the medical bureaucracy at all costs because it'll drive you crazy. I mean, I just know from 3 weeks dealing with the medical community, the less I deal with them, the better. And they want to do one thing. They want to do the thing they know. This is the thing about doctors. Doctors are not curious about you. They don't care about you. They care about getting a thing done. You're coming in, you have X. Well, we know how to fix X. There's only one thing we do to fix X, so it's easy. But maybe that's not what you need. Maybe you don't need surgery. But that's what they know. Just like, hey, if it wasn't that, maybe we'd throw some pills at you. But it's not that. I'm just saying, doctors these days, they're not gods. They're overworked. They're definitely not underpaid for the most part, but they're overworked. And the quality of doctoring is going to be different wherever you go. So, get to know your doctors. I mean, that's the most important thing. They're not gods. They're just people with medical degrees who've read a couple more chapters of a medical text than you. You know, Grey's Anatomy. Okay, great. I didn't read it, but they have. Do you trust them? They've been through more education. Okay. Do we trust them? The quality of doctoring, different, but we're not in any position to choose because there are few doctors. And where are they coming from now? Because there are so few doctors? Philippines, India. Actually, it's really strange because the Philippines medical schools are enrolling American white doctors, not Philippine doctors. The white doctors are going to the Philippines. Anyway, all right, so just my luck that, health issues have come up during this whole war bit. So I'm talking about it. I do want to mention a couple things coming up on the horizon. May 2nd and 3rd. May 2nd at the Marsh at 1 p.m. It's a Saturday. My friends Ethnotech, Bob and Nancy, they're dancers, they're storytellers. Bob's Filipino Japanese American. Nancy Wong, she's a dancer, storyteller. They'll be at the Marsh, May 2nd, 1 p.m. And it's free, part of the San Francisco International Arts Festival. And then they're going to be at Oakland, at the Oakland Asian American Community Center, or Cultural Center, sorry. They're on 8th, Chinatown. They'll be there Sunday, May 3rd, right, at 1 o'clock. All free. Check it out. Ethnotech.org, I think, is their website. Strong Like Bamboo is the program. And I just want to give them a free plug. All right. My things aren't coming up until later on in May. But Nancy, Bob, Ethnotech, Strong Like Bamboo, a recipient of an NEA grant. That's why they can offer these things free. But, with donation too, to help them out. But May 2nd in San Francisco at the Marsh, May 3rd at the Oakland Asian American Cultural Center. Go check them out. Ethnotech, Strong Like Bamboo. All right. Let me bring up my friend, Professor Daniel Phil Gonzalez, who I have not talked to since Easter time. And so I want to say hello to Dan. Oop. Hello to Dan, and hello to Dan. Oop. Dan, what's happening here? Hello to Dan, and happy belated Easter. I didn't talk to you, but I trust you had a good Easter.
It was good. It was a serious observation of the meaning of the resurrection.
Yeah, so no, you didn't do an egg hunt, no bunny hop, nothing like that?
The only thing we like about that is the candy, okay?
Yes,
but other than that, if you could get me some bittersweet chocolate, I'm happy.
Yeah, all right, so what do you mean by this serious reflection? Because this is a serious time. You had the commander-in-chief of, essentially the quote-unquote, the leader of the free world. I don't know how long we can say that, but he was saying on Easter, how a whole civilization will die. Oh, actually, he wasn't saying that on Easter. He had a worse message for Easter. But he
had the effing bastards.
Yeah, he said the effing. Yeah, he had that quote. But this week, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. That's the genocidal email that he put out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
How was your reflection able to balance out all of that badness in the world right now?
I looked back to how we were raised in a Catholicism that was in the midst of its ecumenical cycle, where all faiths were legitimate in their shared humanistic elements of their philosophy, of their practice. And that started seriously under Pope Pius XII, right? But it continued all the way up to and including, and there's a little bit of conservatism with the Polish Pope, but afterwards we got Pope Francis, and Pope Leo seems to be following in the tradition reestablished by Pope Francis. And so there was already conflict between the White House and Pope Leo because his early positions on things sounded like he was being critical of the wholesale self-aggrandizement being practiced by dictatorial or semi-dictatorial, autocratic and authoritarian governments. And he wasn't necessarily talking about Trump alone.
Right.
He was talking about a number of different governments and nations that are practicing this centralized self-dealing all over the world.
AKA corruption.
Thank you very much.
Self-dealing. Self-servicing. Yeah. Financial masturbation. Yeah.
All of that. Well, see, if it was only masturbation, I really wouldn't care. You know what I mean? But in this instance, it's masturbation that results in incoming finance, right?
Right.
The realization of ill-gotten revenue, basically.
Right. Right.
And so greed, and we're talking about basic greed here, okay?
Mm.
And so again, all of the basic elements of Christianity and the teachings of Christ that were being emphasized to us and for us in our youth, right,
Mm.
came rushing to the fore. And when you reflect on our current circumstances, it's absolute contradiction, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Including the people who claim to be Christian.
Right.
And,
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, and it's one of the things about how I say every time this guy, commander in chief, does something, and people, Filipinos, Filipino Americans I know are still backing him. I keep saying, now do you want to come over? Now do you want to?
I,
And
you're,
they never
I,
do.
I assume that you're being partially pejorative, and that you're just testing. But
No,
but
no, I'm not.
I don't
I'm
think
really.
you have a legitimate expectation that they might change.
I think that if they are true Christians, and I know
Uh
this
oh.
because
Uh oh.
I've been consulting the tweets of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who says all my friends who are buddies, who are in the administration, if you are not challenging this man, if you are not saying this man, if you're stopping your adulation for this man, something's, this guy's not a Christian.
Thou
You
shalt
should.
not put false guards before me.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that it's a reasonable request to ask people after they see that the guy they blindly follow is doing all these unchristian, immoral things like calling for the genocide of an entire civilization. Maybe it's time, right? Maybe it's time to say, this guy is not it. This guy is not it.
Well, but
And
see, but
maybe,
have you seen some of the man on the street interviews of people on the issue
oh,
of the
yeah, yeah.
Iran war?
I have. A lot of people say, well, this is just tactic. It's working. People don't know. They don't know if he's going left or right. Hey, it's a strategic. It's strategic. Thinking you're crazy. This is how
Have you
you
seen
survive in
Have you seen
prison.
the interviews? Have you seen the interviews of some of the pro-Israel Jewish Americans?
I haven't seen those. What?
Kill them all. I have no concern for the welfare of Iranian people. Kill them all.
Yeah. Well, this is eye for an eye, right? And this is different from the what was preached by Jesus. Not look. Every time I mention Jesus,
Yeah,
look,
yeah. The
I'm
Rabbi Jesus.
well, I'm just saying I'm Catholic, and I'm I don't shun the Christian theocrats, but the way they toss around Scripture is offensive to my
It
sensibility
is.
of free
It is.
speech. Now,
Yes.
that's why when I go and talk about Jesus and God, I I'm careful because I just look at it as historically. I don't look at it as I'm trying to uh, proselytize you to join any kind of religious organization, and I'm not even saying that I'm trying to get you um, to. I'm not trying to justify anything by religion, but I'm just saying that if the Christian value is love thy enemy, which is very hard, very difficult, almost impossible for many people. But if that's the ideal, I'm just mentioning it. That is something that we in a society should strive for. And love thy enemy implies a certain amount of forgiveness. It implies a certain
Yes.
amount of coming together and saying, "Hey, we are one community." And so, uh, I just find it kind of strange right now that all this is happening around Easter time, and we're doing all this reflecting. And even Donald Trump is doing some reflecting, saying, "Oh, God is good. God is good. Yeah, we're good. We're with God." You know, Pete Hegseth
Well,
is sort of like the lead cheerleader. But there was that press conference the other day where they asked him, "Do you think God is on your side?" He said, "Oh yeah, God is good. God is on. He's on our side."
well,
I'm not talking that way.
who's the bigger blasphemer though? Is it Trump or is it Hegseth?
Well, both. I think Hegseth goes through the motion and drops the Bible, but I think I wrote a column in my Inquirer.net column about the most powerful American is not Donald Trump, it's Pope Leo, and uh, the
Yeah,
world leaders are not
I watched
following
that.
Leo.
I watched that, and it was really
Yeah.
good. Your stuff was really good. A lot of people
Well,
agree
thank
with
you.
that. The most powerful, is clearly Pope Leo, and all they got to
Uh,
do is reflect on just the number of Catholics in the world,
oh
and
yeah.
then
Eh,
and then and then also reflect on the fact that he is influential not only among Catholics. He's
oh yeah.
influential beyond even Christianity.
Yeah. He's influential among good Catholics and bad Catholics,
Yeah.
like JD Vance. You know, who
Well,
and all his his Catholic converts.
yeah,
I'm
but he
not sure.
probably he probably goes to church on Sunday, and I don't know if he goes to confession, but his penance must be hell. his
Well, I mean,
pen- his penance, his Hail Marys must number in the thousands.
I think maybe he just has to read the Bible out loud orally several times
In
a
Latin.
week. Yeah, I mean, actually, compared to to Islam, because the Islamic holy men, right? They quote from the Quran,
The
like
Quran.
verbatim.
Oh yeah.
They
Well,
are,
but see, Protestant Christians can do that as well,
yeah, yeah.
and they do it far better than Catholics. Catholics,
Oh, okay. We just get, we're like
well,
tapas. We're
the
tapas
the, the
Catholics.
missal the missal is on a 3-year cycle, right? So the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
stuff Catholics know is what goes all around in a 3-year cycle of the missal.
yeah.
That's the closest we get to a commemoration of the reality of the gospel and the epistles, right?
Yeah. Well, look, we're tapas Catholics. A little plate size, one by side.
That's
Tapas.
great. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal
Yeah,
tapas Catholicism, right?
yeah. Just a little bite size.
There's the host as the appetizer, right?
Yeah, little place.
Oh
Yeah,
boy,
and the
little
Chinese would call it
bites.
dim sum Catholic. Dim sum Catholic to dim sum.
Tapas
Yeah.
Catholicism will not work with our grandmas. Our
I
grandmas
know, I
and our
know.
grand aunties. What's the first thing They open the door and they say, "Have you eaten?"
Oh yeah. See, you're lucky. I did not have a Lola. I had surrogate
Me either.
Lolas.
Me either.
I had
I
surrogate
had
Lolas.
substitute Lolas. I had
Did
substitute
did
Lolas.
you meet your Lola though? Did you ever meet your Lola?
I met my Lola on my father's side, and I met my Lolo on my mother's side. My
Wow,
my
you're
my, my,
lucky.
my Lola on my father's side spoke no English. Can you believe that?
I believe that. I actually
No.
believe that. I mean, although,
I think she understood English, but she spoke no English. And
yeah, yeah,
I was definitely Ancano, the American.
Unkano, yeah, Unkano. So,
Tingin mo in Tagalog, tingin mo Ancano.
Unkano.
Look at the American. He's such a
Yeah, yeah,
weird thing. A weird thing. We are a weird
yeah,
phenomenon.
yeah. All right, so Dan, uh, the ceasefire is tomorrow,
What
and I thought,
ceasefire?
I thought we'd
Walang
get into this
ceasefire.
whole east.
Now you're being pejorative again. You're
Yeah,
being
well,
pejorative.
no, no, no. The ceasefire is going on, and it it's sort of the ceasefire. It's really
It's
more like
called
the sheesh fire, sheesh fire. There's no,
cease
yeah.
quasi ceasefire.
There's
And then
no
they're
ceasing.
gonna send that great diplomat, you know, J.D.
Steve
Vance,
Witkoff. Oh,
to be
oh,
the top negotiator.
he's the top, but Steve Witkoff. Look, Steve Witkoff and what's his
Jared
name?
Kushner.
Jared Kushner. They're only there to like sweep up the dregs and stick it in their pocket for their future use in capitalism. In deals in the
What do you
future.
mean future? What do you mean future? Jared walks
Well,
away
I
with billion
future.
dollar
I mean
deals.
next week. I just mean next week. I don't mean like. I don't mean like years
First,
from now. I mean,
hey, as soon as they get on the plane, man, they're checking out their accounts. Hey, what?
yeah. I mean, it's this is all about. Hey, you're representing the U.S. and they got to court you, and oh yeah.
Oh man.
So I don't have much hope for JD Vance or the his underlings, the aforementioned Witkoff and you know
Well, it's
Kushner.
interesting. I think it's interesting that they're sending JD because JD was the only guy. All the reports that I get say
Yeah,
that he was the only guy that was not. He was
acceptable.
ambivalent, and even worse, he was seen inside the White House as
Right,
being against the opening of full scale hostilities against Iran.
right.
So
Yeah, it was like a request. We would only talk to JD Vance, have him bring his. Oh no, that's the wrong voice. But they only wanted JD Vance. They didn't mention anything about Usha. But all right, now this is what Donald Trump said. The Iranians don't seem to realize they have no cards. Oh, this is a big Donald Trump metaphor. Zelensky has no cards. You have no cards. Iranians don't seem to realize they have no cards. You have no cards. Yes, of course not. We're playing dominoes, you fool. We're playing dominoes. We're not playing cards. Oh man.
he's
We're
playing checkers. He's playing
yeah.
checkers.
Oh, we're playing backgammon. Backgammon, you fool.
No, no. At least you roll stuff on backgammon, man. This guy ain't
Yeah.
even there. He's not even
He's
there.
he
You
said,
know,
look,
no,
the
man.
Iranians
The straight is all they need. They have a straight.
they got the straight. Yeah.
they're,
Well look,
they're playing poker, and they got a royal straight, man.
they go. Well, look at this. He says, other than a short-term extortion of the world by using international waterways, the only reason they are alive today is to negotiate. President Donald J. Trump.
Which they didn't have until you freaking attacked them, you idiot.
Yeah. Oh man. This is the thing. Donald Trump,
Wait a minute. Let's
his
do the logical thing and backtrace causality.
Yeah.
We'll talk. What is the proximate cause?
Hey, this is what he does, though. Like the whole thing, the Save American Act, right? He puts out a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. But we're going to have problems once Save American Act, if it ever gets passed.
But Americans on the ground are only concerned with the gasoline prices. Last year it was eggs, and now it's gasoline, and they don't understand. They're not even. Most of them aren't even connecting this to the war. Even though it's clear it's all about petroleum coming out of the strait, right?
Yeah.
And it's hooked up. Do they have their own helium? They keep saying we don't need them. We don't need them because our petroleum products do not come through the strait. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Helium.
Yeah. Hey, no, he doesn't know. But remember the other day on that Wednesday, week ago, last Wednesday, he said, "Hey, you need oil? Buy it from us. We got all the oil.
We got reserves coming. We got all kinds of good stuff. Then how come our prices are up? If it's available, okay, then sell it to us at wholesale, dude.
Yeah.
See,
this is the thing. The people who are winning, clearly the Iranians, clearly Russia, and clearly China.
Yes.
So if Donald Trump wants to play with the big autocrats, because that's how he sees the world. He wants to be among the autocrats. So he wants to be just like Putin, just like Xi. And now he finds himself not just like Xi, less, not just like Putin, less. He is really overseeing the downgrading of the U.S. in this strongman world because he acted, calling for the obliteration of Iran. He acted like a weakling.
And
he thought he'd get bullied.
And who was he sending to meet with Orban?
With who?
With Orban.
Oh! He sent JD Vance. Orban.
There you go. So all of a sudden, Vance is pulling a Marco, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's got all kind of double duty, triple duty, like Marco Rubio, and Marco is sitting this one out, and that's kind of interesting, right? Because you got Vance obviously wants to be the nominee in 2028, right?
Yeah.
And Marco is mining his opportunities, right?
Yeah.
First Latino president, man. I mean,
Yeah. Hey, I think he knows that if JD Vance fails here, it'll be a black mark. Any black mark on Donald Trump will be a black mark on JD Vance. And if they don't get what they need, the ceasefire and the negotiated truce or whatever, they don't have anything. And here's the irony, of course, is that we had this, when the Obama Secretary of State Kerry, that the whole nuclear agreement was a solid agreement. And right now, Donald Trump would give anything to get that exact same deal, but with his name. He just wants his name on it. That's all. He said, God, this is like I didn't have to build the Kennedy Center. I just put my name on the Kennedy Center. And that's the way it is with the Iran nuclear deal. He just didn't want Obama's name on it. Put my name up first, and we're good. And now he can't replicate it because now there's this new X factor, the Strait of Hormuz, who
Yep.
is not synonymous with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is not the Strait of Hormuz, although he had some extracurricular kind of activity. He's not the Strait of Hormuz. But I mean, we are right back in a situation that, man, we would love just to get back, 4 weeks ago, before the war started,
Oh man.
before
No, it's 5 weeks now.
Netanyahu did his magic on Donald Trump.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
Netanyahu-
mean, you saw
Netanyahu
Kerry.
is not long. Netanyahu is not long in that place.
No, and he's not. But he's alienating Americans. He is doing what he can while he's got Trump. But
Well, but
John
see
Kerry,
what he's offered a deal to Hezbollah.
who
You know,
Netanyahu?
they're willing to negotiate. Netanyahu is willing to negotiate, so he's going to offer a deal. I thought he was going to wipe them out, right? I mean, I guess the deal would be disarm, right? So you can still exist as a political entity, but you have to disarm so you're no longer a military threat, right? But they got way too many missiles. they got a storehouse, man.
Well, it's just the turning point was because John Kerry last night on the news said, "Hey, Netanyahu has been wanting the U.S. to come in and bomb Iran for years, for several presidencies, and only Donald Trump is stupid enough to do it."
Yep.
So,
because he was told you're going to be a hero of the world, and his cronies are saying that right now. His cronies are saying that right now. They got people. They said, "Well, you got all these people saying, including folks that are former military. At least, they're not appearing on ABC or NBC. They're appearing on CNN, and CBS and Newsmax, and they're saying, Iran is a cancer." And sometimes, you have to do the operation, and sometimes, you got to cut it out. But and the pain is necessary. The action is necessary, and they're essentially saying, if we go in with troops, we go in with ground troops, it's going to be a necessary thing to do, and they're backing that up. Look at it. When do they start automatic registration for the draft?
I don't know if that was for. Well, actually, it was passed, right? I mean,
yes,
it was in the big beautiful bill, I think, wasn't it?
No, I don't know if it was part of the big beautiful bill.
I think that would make it not so beautiful, but 26, you had to automatically register.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I worry about all that.
December 26th.
Yeah.
The selective service system.
At the end of the year, they asked for it. All right. So, Dan, what do you think is going to happen at the end of? Do you think they come out with something? Do you think on Saturday they negotiate and then Sunday we have a peace, or do you think we taco for another 2 weeks?
I go with choice C. I think taco for a couple more weeks, another extension.
I think, speaking of taco, I'm upset that taco, every time I eat a taco, even with fake meat, I have to think of this guy. And I
Yes.
got in my mouth, I'm thinking taco, and I want it to be, instead a Filipino thing, I want to say Trump is a lumpia. He's a lying, unintelligent, mother pucking, incoherent a-hole. He's a lumpia.
Yes, I like it.
That's what he
I like
is.
it, but that ruins me for lumpia, man.
Oh no,
But
no, no!
anyway,
But you eat the lumpia, and it's held together, and it looks like a thing
you don't have to
that
turn your head. Yeah, you don't have to
that would,
turn your
yeah,
head.
yeah. I don't know. You could eat it fresh or fried. I don't know. I just think taco. Everyone likes tacos, but tacos are they're they're being they're being soiled by
Yeah,
their
yeah,
association with Trump.
yeah.
All right,
Unfortunately,
so you say, all right, 2 more weeks. I think, look, Donald Trump, all he needs is time, because the Iranians don't care. They're not gonna disappear.
what
They're never,
incentive do they have to make a deal? What is
there is
their
none.
incentive to make a deal? You know,
Well, Taco
they're getting
Tuesdays in
help. They
Iran.
got help.
Taco Taco
They got
Tuesdays in
Russia
Iran.
on their side. They got China on their side. The people are buying their oil. They control the
Who
strait. You know,
who needs the U.S.?
India is essentially neutralized because they're dependent on them.
Right?
Look at
Who
the
needs the
Philippines is
U.S.?
rationing. You know, the Philippines is rationing its stuff. You know,
Right?
Vietnam is in a great position because they got some oil.
Yeah.
But if they, I don't know how they are at oil production themselves, right? If they can produce in volume, but
But
boy, they can sell to all of the SCA countries that don't have oil. They
yeah,
could sell to Korea, South Korea,
well,
Japan.
it's all the Asian countries need oil
They
because they
they're
get
completely
they
dependent. You know,
yeah, and the Philippines, man, this is where maybe Duterte was right to say "f you" to the U.S. president,
yes.
and to start courting Putin. Not that I like that, or start courting China. Not that I like that.
He was in there with the Chinese.
Yeah, but and the
And
Chinese.
part of that was because the Chinese were being so aggressive in the South China Sea. I mean, they're
Yeah,
building little
yeah.
airstrips and stuff.
Well, that's the thing about
Pulling
China.
with their
You
name.
can't. You can't. Can you trust them? Can you trust? I think that, boy, Trump going in there, a total.
Reality is, in answer to your trust, you can,
Yeah,
you can trust them to do what's best for their country,
for
and
China. Yeah,
you can trust them to be logical.
you can trust them not
You
to be
can't do that
chaotic.
with Trump.
Yeah, they are not chaotic or incoherent.
That's right.
The game of
That's
Chinese
right.
checkers is not very incoherent, not very chaotic. It looks like it. People say, "Oh, Chinese fire drill." No, very.
That's
No,
now
they're not chaotic.
you have to
Me,
explain what a Chinese fire drill is because that's a
no,
cultural that's a
it's
cultural
just
reference that goes back 2 generations or maybe three.
it's kind of
People
a
aren't gonna know.
derogatory. It's
Yeah.
kind of a pejorative, but because people used it as a pejorative. But I'm just saying that right now, we are so unfortunate at this critical time to have the stupidest president and the least competent, the least coherent president, a president who does not read, a president who relies who and is easily influenced by outside forces. He doesn't know.
Well,
He
people
doesn't.
have said that he is slow. He's slower. He is not as quick as he was, obviously 20, 30 years ago. And that's obvious, okay? But see, what they're
Yeah.
ignoring is he's also crazy. It's not
Yeah.
just a matter of him losing a step, right? Mentally or intellectually, okay?
Yeah.
He is clearly sociopathic at the least. He's sociopathic at the least,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So that's what makes
Well,
him predictable. And then his 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 associates, if you want to call them that, they say no, this is by choice.
yeah.
That the chaos is designed to keep
He's
the adversary off balance, right?
yeah. This is what they call strategic stupidity. Strategic. My stupidity is strategic, and it will, in the end, bear fruit.
It's
It'll
a
bear fruit because
you're
we
gonna be
have
so tired of
fertilizer.
winning. You're gonna be
Yeah.
so tired of winning. You know?
Yeah. Oh, you're going to be, winning, too much winning, winning. We're going to bear fruit because we own the Persian Gulf fertilizer. We will get that
We got
fertilizer.
it.
It will bear
No, we're
fruit.
gonna. You know, he warns Iran. This morning, I saw Trump warns Iran against setting up quotas for passing through the strait. And the other day, he said the
Oh,
U.S. and Iran are going to
yeah.
share, right?
Well, that
Passing,
that
having a toll,
that whole toll thing.
exacting tolls through passing through the strait.
People from the Bay Area know about tolls, and
Oh yeah.
actually, I think the toll taking system in the Bay Area is actually more reasonable than if you go to the East Coast and you try to do the toll roads in, say,
Oh man.
Florida or I mean, some states are just crazy. How can I pay? There's no one in the booth. Is it AI? It's just, they used to like throw pennies in the little funnel. It's crazy.
Talking
I
about
hate the toll
The
roads in the East
Jersey
Coast.
Turnpike.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Jersey. Yeah, they're crazy there too. Well, all right. So we may not get. Who knows what we get? We'll get an extension, and
that's,
then
that's greatest
and then
likelihood. Iran has
Donald
got
Trump.
no incentive. Iran has no friggin' incentive, and they, you know, their 10 point, their 10 point, what, they, I won't call them demands, but their
Mhm.
10 point proposal, right?
Yeah.
Their 10 point proposal is is exactly antagonistic to everything that Trump said he was going to get. So
Yeah.
they said they had a 15 point proposal, and that
Right.
and that the Iranians had accepted it. You know, we're very close. We're very close to
Yeah.
complete agreement. You know, we've only got
Yeah.
1 or 2 points that we got to settle up on, and then you
Yeah.
look at what the Iranians are saying. This is our proposal, and it's completely antagonistic to the U.S. position. Oh,
Yeah.
and then finally, people are on the right and saying, you know what? You know what? American interests seem to diverge from the interests of Israel.
Ah.
We
Oh.
might not be on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. I
This
just
guy's
think that
15 years too late, man.
yeah. I don't know what's going to happen on Monday, but I don't have a. Well, we'll know Sunday. They'll say, "Well, we got to meet for some more," and then we'll hear Monday, and then maybe more bombs. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very depressing because it didn't have to happen, and it's happening, and I hope that it has some kind of impact. On Tuesday, when the reversal hit and the ceasefire started, the elections around the country showed everyone dumping the Republicans in Georgia and Wisconsin. I mean, there was like a
Well, they lost the election, but they shifted the point of balance, right, by
yeah,
25,
yeah.
25 points, man. I
I
mean,
mean,
that's huge.
there's a lot of people who are unlike the Filipinos who are saying, "Oh, I don't know, I still want to be with this guy." I think there are a lot of people who are taking the Marjorie Taylor Greene approach, and a lot of people in MAGA, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly. They're all saying, what's his name? The right wing talk show
Alex
host,
Jones.
Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones. They're all saying, "Hey, Trump is over. Trump is over." So
I don't see, but I don't.
I,
I don't think they were really MAGA. I think they were super pro Trump, but
oh
I don't
yeah,
know if they
okay.
were MAGA. I
So
think they
well,
were MAGA adjacent. You know.
I think Tucker Carlson. I mean, because when you're talking about really core MAGA issues like the Epstein files,
I
and you're
agree with
talking
that.
about and you're
I
talking
agree.
about no forever wars, that
Yeah,
they were
I agree.
there, and that's sort of what's going on. Hey, speaking of Epstein, Melania Trump was out there talking, and
I was
what?
never
Why
his
was?
friend. I was
Yeah,
never on the plane. I never. All we did was we were invited to the same parties, right?
yeah,
Okay. Well, I saw a mention that one of the Wolf authors Myers. I forgot his
Yeah,
first name. I think it might be Michael.
Michael
Uh,
Wolf. Yeah.
yeah, and he's supposed to be prepping to come out with a book, and also he's got evidently recordings of interviews with Epstein, and one of the recordings
Oh.
says, "Well, the first time that Melania and I had sex was on my plane."
Hmm.
And so
Well, I'm
that,
I'm I'm telling you, this is the only reason why she went out there to talk was a strike against books that she can't kill, or books that are come out that she's not able to, um, you know, have any kind of. Well, I mean, if she talked to the writer, I guess maybe she can have her chapter in the book. But right now, it looks like, from some perspectives, it looked like, is she throwing Donald Trump under the bus because he doesn't want the Epstein files out there, but she's making him a point. On the
oh
other
yeah,
hand,
no, I think that was super cool. I think this is the
yeah,
prelude. This is the prelude to divorce.
yeah,
You know,
or is, could you see Donald Trump saying, "Oh yeah, do whatever you want, Melania," because if we get these people in Congress where they have to say what they do under oath, maybe that's good for us. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well,
We're speculating, but I
well,
think the
I don't know.
original thing.
I think. Do you think there's anybody in Congress that may have been fully engaged in the kinds of activities that we associate with the past, yeah,
No,
activities of?
what I was thinking is that you get you get the women to testify under oath in Congress,
Yeah,
and that is a way of maybe playing both sides, showing some sympathy, not
sure.
necessarily throwing Donald under the bus, but trying to make these women prove their point or to speak out. They have, but here under oath would be a totally different thing. So I don't know. It was just a weird thing to see her all of a sudden. There she is talking about this, and uh, it's not conclusive exactly why she did it and what will happen next. But all we know is that she did not break any laws,
Yeah, I
according to
don't
her.
understand. I don't
According to her.
understand. I don't understand with clarity what the position taken by some of the survivors, right? The
Yeah.
Epstein survivors was, but they were very critical of Melania for doing this. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
That's the thing. So I don't really know. Hey, so a couple things. Artemis 2
yes,
is going to
ma'am.
be splashing down, re-entering the atmosphere.
Is it?
And you know,
I'm checking
it's
right now.
no, it says entering in the next hour.
Okay.
And you know, I care, but I don't really care because I don't know why we're up there, except that it's it's kind of
We're
cool,
prepping
I
for the
guess.
moon, dude. We got to go to the moon. We're prepping for the moon, and it's
Hey,
going to
I
be
want
our stage. We won't have to do all of this stuff, with worrying about re-entering the atmosphere every time.
Dan, I forget about the moon. I want high speed rail between SF and LA.
Sure, me
I want
too.
high speed
Me
rail in
too.
California.
Me too.
Get high speed rail, and I take that more often than I would a shuttle to get to the backside of the moon.
For sure. Okay, that's true. Okay, obviously that's
Uh,
true. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
no,
it's just
I would love high speed rail. I really
yeah.
would. Because
I would like
if it succeeds between here and LA, then it will obviously succeed between San Diego and Sacramento,
oh
you know.
yeah, and I mean that's part of the it's already a leg, right?
Yeah,
You have to just build the San Diego LA leg, and then you build the San Francisco to Sacramento leg, which is
right.
already, I mean, they're not high speed, but I guess a lot of it is trying to find the land and using eminent domain and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But frankly, I think you look at the money spent on NASA and how exciting people are. Okay, great. How about Americans talking to one another over vast divides? How about that? Instead of going to the moon, the far side of the moon, how about just simple things like like disintegrating or making go away that divide that exists between Americans of one perspective and another. I heard someone today on a sports show talk about his opinion on the draft, on the coming NFL draft, and he said, I don't care what you say or what I say. I respect all opinions. I don't put you down and say I'm right, you're wrong. I see all opinions. That's the way I think it should be, right? Respectful of all opinions. Ultimately, you come up with one that works for you, but it's not I'm right, you're wrong. It's I have this view, you have that view. I see your point, and let's see what democracy is. Let's see who more people back,
Well,
who more
see, that's
people agree with.
okay. That's the problem that I have with people saying you got to respect everybody's opinion. I
Mm,
respect their their right to have an opinion, however
mm.
wrong I might see it being. The thing is,
Yeah.
okay, the thing is, if they are wrong and they convince enough people to take action based on their inaccurate or mistaken perspective and understanding, and then we act, at least in significant enough numbers, to actually bring that into existence, right?
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
we all suffer the consequences. The
Yeah.
biggest, the biggest clear evidence of that is who's president of the United States. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so I'm supposed to respect their opinion. No, I respect their right to have it, but I do not
Okay.
respect their opinion.
That's a you know an appropriate distinction, means a lot, and I think you're right. You're right. It's they can have it. They can have a bad opinion.
But
Doesn't mean
when people act in concert, and they act, even if they're not a complete majority, if they in effect, right, have
Mm,
the uh, uh, the change or the direction, right, of the
mm.
society affected by their perspective, we're in trouble, and we are in trouble. That's how we got here.
Well, yeah, because they control the two checks that create the balance,
There it is.
and now
Even
there's no
without
there's no
even
checks.
without a clear majority, the guy,
Yeah.
right? Even without a clear majority. I'm not talking about a majority of voters, because obviously a majority of voters, that's how he got in office. But when you
Yeah.
look at what that represents, the reason they won was because Democrats didn't turn out.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Democrats not turning out, Kamala Harris today at the National Action Network, which is Sharpton's group, No Justice, No Peace, they had like an audition for all the Democrats. They had Kamala Harris
Mhm.
there, and
She said
she
she's
said she
considering it.
might. Yeah, I don't know. If you can't be, I mean, I don't know if it pays to be cagey. She lost. She said, I'm getting back into it. I respect that slightly more than I'm thinking about it. Well, some of these other guys are out there, and frankly, of the people I saw, I mean, I don't know what Ro Khan is doing there. I don't think he's ready for the presidency. And or he worked on Epstein, great. I don't see him as president, but I do see Pete Buttigieg as
Yeah.
president, and I think of and Pritzker. Pritzker's been very strong,
Yep.
and JB Pritzker. I like I
How about
like
Wes
Gavin.
Moore? How about Wes Moore?
I like Westmore too, but you know I don't. I like the other guys a little better. Like I like Gavin Newsom even a little bit, but a lot of people. One of the problems is you get out there too early, you're a target too early,
That's it. That's what I
and you
thought.
might.
I thought that was Gavin's mistake. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's well, you could be a front runner, but when you're the front runner and you're the only one taking the arrows, then by the time you're at the finish line, you've got 1,000 more arrows than the other guys who are fresh and making a run at it in 2027, right? So, All right. Hey, one thing about elections, Eric Swalwell. There's some woman coming out
Again,
saying that
again. Well, he's had this kind of accusation, coming that way a while back.
so
There were two
not the
things that were coming after him, right? One
yeah
was the person who was suspected of dealing with China,
yeah
and then there at the same time there were rumors about somebody claiming sexual
yeah.
assault.
There's a staffer who's claiming rape, and she reported to CNN. Blackface interview. You can't see. I don't know. Eric Swalwell seems like a competent bureaucrat and anti-Trump attack dog, but when you're that way, the politicos have a way of getting the people they need to come out there and speak against you, and it looks like they got him. I don't know. Does this sink him or does he recover?
I don't know. Let's see how strong the evidence is.
There's so many people running for governor that people will say, "I want someone unblemished. I want
Sure.
I want Betty Yee."
Well, yeah.
Although Betty Yee is sinking, I know
Oh, man.
I don't know if Betty Yee has a chance. I like Betty Yee, but
Yeah,
she may
yeah.
not have a chance.
I do too, but I think she's got a lot of correct positions, and the things that she
Yeah,
wants to emphasize, like putting a major emphasis on education, and the appropriate funding of education, and also
yeah,
having a plan, having feasible plans about the state economy and the relationship between extreme wealth, right, and taxation
yeah,
process and all that. She's
yeah.
she's clear. It's just that
Well,
I can't see her, representing our state on a global basis. I mean, she just you know, doesn't have that kind
yeah,
of appeal.
yeah. At some point, it's not just the smarts, the positions. It's got to be a whole package, right? Like
That's
you're a
right.
car guy, right? You're a car guy.
I am a
It's
car
not
guy.
just you got the engine and the engine runs on gas or it's a nice hybrid or has four wheels, it rolls down. You want a car. You want a car that says, I'm governor of the fifth largest economy in the
Yeah,
world.
you
And
got to respect this vehicle. Respect this vehicle. It's got
yeah,
it's got what it takes. It's
yeah,
maneuverable. It's quick. Okay, it's safe.
hey, but it's also kind of well, it's shallow, but that's what car guys are. You
Yeah,
got to have the nice
yeah.
body. You need to have the upholstery.
Gotta have
Everything's got to
appeal.
be.
Gotta have
It's got
appeal.
to have everything's got to be cherried out, right? To use a car phrase, cherried
Right.
out. Do they still
Yeah.
use that cherried out?
Yeah.
So, and Betty may not be it. Hey, we're in the final minutes toward
What's this? You had impeachment on here.
yeah, well,
Impeachment and the 25th Amendment. We
yeah,
covered Kamala.
because
We covered Tiger. We covered
no,
impeachment in the 20th.
we haven't covered Tiger yet,
Oh, I thought
but
you
we'll
did.
cover. Well, no, well, we
Oh
talked
no,
in
that was in
before.
our prior conversation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk. We'll talk about Tiger last. All right, the 25th and impeachment. I don't know. This is a lot of Democrats were saying this about a week ago, and I don't see any steam. I don't see anything
Man,
motivating.
once again, it's too early for that kind of talk. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and these guys, do they play poker at all? I mean, these guys,
Well, yeah.
you don't keep showing your hand, man, early. I mean,
Well,
first win the
this is yeah,
goddamn election. Win the
yeah.
freaking election. Concentrate, man.
All right.
Focus. You know?
They put in people's heads, number one, that he's done impeachable offenses, and then they get the other idea that this man is unsuitable, mentally unfit. He needs to be replaced. 25th Amendment. So a
And they
lot.
should be moving. Yeah, yeah, but once again, you and I have had this conversation at least twice
I
in the
know.
recent past.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And what we've agreed on is that structurally that's impossible, right? Unless you have a cabinet in place.
Well,
It
you
has to
need.
be the cabinet. And so when you got a bunch of Republicans that are going to defend this guy, or at least say, I'm not going to take that kind of position, because they're scared. They're scared of their own constituents.
This is the thing. Trump is the shadow on the Congress, Republicans specifically, and on the courts, and he is the shadow that everyone's scared of.
Well, it's not
So
just him,
nothing's going
though.
to happen.
They're
Nothing's going to
scared
happen.
they're scared of the constituents that are so eager to not only defend this guy, but to commit crimes on
Right.
his behalf. You got
Yeah.
people that are willing to commit crimes on his
Not
behalf.
Marjorie Taylor Greene anymore. Not She's
Well,
on the
I
side of
don't
the
I
Lord.
don't think she was the criminal type anyway. I don't think she was going to be scaling the front of the Congress, right? To get scaling the front of the Capitol and beating the hell
Yeah.
out of security camp.
But she was right there. She was the mega diva for the longest
Sure,
time, and now
sure.
the thing is she's kind of rehabilitating herself. And like I said, I don't like the fact that I end up quoting Marjorie Taylor Greene more than I do most good Democratic congressmen. Although Ed Markey is good, you know. Adam Smith from Washington is good. Seth Moulton is good. When you
Sure.
see those guys pop up, Jason Crow, he's good from I think Denver. I think he's from, or Colorado.
Yeah,
When you
Colorado.
see
Yeah.
those guys pop up, those are the guys who have something to say, and unfortunately, they're outnumbered. So I mentioned the 25th Amendment. I mentioned impeachment only as these are tools. Like I've
They
got
are
a
too.
chainsaw. I got a chainsaw in my garage. I don't use it very often, but I got a chainsaw in my garage.
They pulled impeachment twice and lost twice. So already it's a weak position, right? So stop
Yeah.
talking about things that you lost. All right. Don't be
Yeah.
doing that. 25th Amendment, it's the other guys, man, that got to do that. They're the
Well,
ones who
yeah.
that have they are the only ones that have the authority to question the competence of the president.
It, if only enough Republicans said, hey, we can stand up to this guy, that's what you need, but you're not getting that. I mean,
Well, it's the cabinet. It's the cabinet, man. And when you get not every, I think they're embarrassed about Scott Bessent, right? I think he has looked so stupid. It's
oh, yeah.
embarrassing, man. Now they got Hassett, so they got Hassett
Yeah.
doing what Bessent was doing up until about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, right? But Bessent was
Yeah.
looking so idiotic, man. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
he was
now we're about 10 minutes, 12 minutes away from
splashdown.
re-entry. Yeah, the thing is, it's exciting. I get it, but it's also, to me, it's a nice distraction. Maybe this is what unites us. Maybe we can't get united because we have a doddering president who wants to blow up the world, but maybe we can be united because we still can do great things. We can't fix our healthcare system, but we can do some great things like go to the moon. Maybe we should send
You
people
know
to the
what?
moon.
You know what? I think we can fix the healthcare system. The problem is, the Democrats have to win all three. They have to pull the sweep the way that the Republicans did, um, get the presidency in both houses. They
Yeah.
can fix it. It can be fixed. The thing is, I think that it would have to take the action of several states.
Mhm.
I would say California, Oregon, Washington would be a good start, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Nevada might even jump in on that. But
Yeah.
if those three West Coast states moved on state government available insurance, I mean, see, we already went in that direction with car auto insurance, the minimum
Mhm.
capable, right?
Yeah.
Minimum liability insurance. I was looking for the word liability.
Yeah.
Liability insurance. We did that in the 70s, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, divorce, irreconcilable differences. No fault divorce,
sure,
right?
sure, no
We
fault
we
divorce.
we can
Same
work it
time,
out. We
same
can
time,
work it out.
Same
Yeah.
time period. And then remember when Jerry Brown got criticized because he advocated for women having
Yeah.
their own financial rights and independence, right?
Mm,
From not only during marriage but especially post marriage, that
mm,
their finances couldn't be constrained by their divorce from their husband, in whose name all of her financial interests were merged, right?
uh-huh.
So he got a lot of flack for that, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering um, about where we are, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just
I mean, it was right for you to bring those two topics up because the Democrats are talking about it.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you got to be careful when you talk that stuff, man,
Well,
because
because the next step, it's one thing to plant the seed, but
that's
where do
right.
you go with it? If you don't have
That's right.
the numbers, you don't have the votes, shut up, right?
Yep.
Although you can say, this is, look how crazy Trump is. This is why 25th Amendment was created. I mean, some people just don't even acknowledge the first 10 amendments. So 25th, do we have 25 amendments? Oh my God. I mean, how
That's
many?
true.
How many? We have like
It's
30
actually
something
true.
amendments.
It's
We have
actually
30
that's
something
actually
amendments
very
right now.
true. Yeah, they don't even
Yeah.
want, well, look at what they're doing with the 13th, 14th, 15th. I mean, I'm waiting for them to
Yeah.
try to get the Supreme Court to restrict those even further. No, wait a
Yeah.
minute. They didn't mean the actual abolition of all slavery. There's
Yeah.
certain forms of slavery that are absolutely allowable. For example,
Yeah.
under Mr. Epstein. You
No, yeah. Right.
know?
There's still some slavery that's
There's
acceptable.
certain forms of slavery that are, we ought to rethink these things. You
Yeah.
know,
All
free
right.
free labor isn't, that's not a bad thing.
All right. So, Dan, we're final minutes before Artemis re-enters, and the fireball coming from the sky, I think splashing down somewhere near San Diego is going to
Yeah, I
happen. I think
noticed
it's San
there.
Diego, but like I said, I don't want to make too big a deal about it because I don't. I want to like rally around the flag and say, "Oh, nice, nice," but um, I'm not.
Well, we're
I
already
just
at an hour and 7 minutes and
well,
counting.
I want to mention one thing that's happening this weekend. One thing that's happening this weekend is the Masters. Tiger Woods will not be at the Masters because he's out taking his pills, managing his pain.
I
He's going somewhere else trying to deal with his addictions.
don't know if they're
I just
if
wanted to
they,
point out.
are they pulling his car and his license so he doesn't drive for a
I
while?
don't know. He should be rich enough to have a driver, but he wants privacy. He doesn't want people to see who he's sneaking out on or where he's going. But here's the thing: guy can't drive because he's
Oh, oh,
impaired.
oh! Wait, I'm getting a.
What
Oh no, that was just an illustration.
of what?
I thought they were starting to show the heat, the
No, they're
actual
just
heat.
showing. Yeah, so we're gonna come into our mind space at the same time Artemis splashes down, and we're going to come in like a fireball. Come in like a. All right, so back to Tiger. It was 29 years ago, April 1997. I first wrote about Tiger Woods, and he won the Masters. And you remember, no one knew what to call him. First black, first
Uh,
African American. Oh, wait a minute, wait. His mother's Thai. He's first Asian American. Oh, and then Tiger.
he called himself a combination.
Yeah, he said I'm Cablinasian, and yes, that was the thing. But
I was
I
very
in my
bothered by the fact that he put the "ca" first.
Ka, I thought that was for Californian. No, no. Yeah, the Ka blah. He could have been a Bakla nation. That
Yeah,
would be
there you go.
Bakla. That's not good. A
You
Bakla
got to explain that
nation.
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not good for the Filipinos. The Bakla, that's a cross-dresser.
yeah.
Uh, so no, here's the thing about Tiger. Back then, 29 years ago, it was like anything could be possible. And when I wrote about him, I called him diversity's champ. I said, here was a guy who is the best of all, right? He's Asian, he's black, he's not a person of color, or he is a person of color, but he is a combination of all these things. And he says, hey, he's got, some Indian, he's got some white, he's everything. This is the mixed diversity metaphor that will save us going into this new century. I thought the new millennium. And I had such hopes for Tiger. And 27 or 29 years now later, we got a good golfer, still a good golfer, troubled human, emphasis human. He's human. That's
Yeah.
That's Tiger
Well,
Woods. He wasn't the god or the demigod of diversity. He wasn't diversity's champ. He was a great golfer, or still is. He might play again, but he's been troubled, and now he's dating Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife. So he's
really?
yeah, Vanessa Trump, I think is her name.
No.
Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife. In fact, when he was arrested by the sheriffs down in Florida, he said, "Oh, I was just on the line with the president." So he's chummy with the president. I mean, if I
Oh
was
yeah,
chummy with
that's
the
right.
president,
You
I
did
would
talk
brag
to him.
about it. Yeah, I'm talking to Dan, but I'm talking to the president. Hold on, Dan. Yeah, Donald. Hey, I'm just trying to perfect my Trump administration, my Trump impression. Well, Emil, you can't Filipino can't work on your Trump impression enough. Okay, thanks, Don. All right, hey, I got to talk to my friend Dan. Dan, I'm talking to the leader in chief, or the commander in chief. I'm sorry, I commander in chief. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah. So Tiger's date. Here's the thing. Tiger is the elite black man, black Asian, Blasian, elite. It's all class with him, and class has robbed him of his privacy, and he wishes he were anonymous.
Well, it would help if he kept, his car upright. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Here's a guy. Here's a guy who wishes he were more anonymous so he can be normal, but he has this incredible gift, the gift of golf, and I just wish he would be able to funnel that more in a more effective way, so that it makes him happy and keeps him away from the stuff that, I mean, he's addicted to drugs because of pain, the pain from the surgeries. There's got to be a better way to manage that. I mean, people have been addicted to painkillers for, forever. And then they end up being addicts because of the pain. But I'm just sorry for Tiger, and I just wanted to reflect how 29 years after his first Masters, when people weren't able to describe him. Jim Nantz said, "Oh, there's the first." They didn't know how to. And Tiger wins the first African. Wait, he's the first eight. They didn't have a word 29 years ago for him. He created one. It didn't stick, and as much as we'd hoped that he'd become this iconic figure in terms of race relations in America, his life is too troubled. He hasn't been. He wasn't what we expected him to be, but perhaps that was unfair, because all he is Tiger Woods, extraordinary golfer, and human being.
Well, he never took any social positions. He never took any strong social positions at all.
Right.
Other people that were at the top of the field. I mean, look at basketball. The 3 or 4, even 5 top players in that league have all taken social positions, very clear social
Yeah.
justice
But
positions.
look, even Charles Barkley now takes
Yeah.
social positions where in the
Well,
past he didn't. He used to say, I'm nobody's role model. I'm nobody. I mean, I think a lot of it comes with a certain amount of maturity. And maybe Tiger, even though he's what, pushing 50, you
yeah.
know, he's not there yet. I mean, maybe, I mean, Charles Barkley has as much money, if not more. Well, I don't know. Maybe enough, if not more, but he's rich. Tiger's a better golfer, but
Yeah.
Barkley's saying some things that you wouldn't expect.
Barkley is turning out to be quite the comedian too. He's
Yeah,
you know getting pretty
he's
good.
funny. He's funny, and you know I even like Shaq a little bit more. I didn't like Shaq at first, but I like him. So look,
I think
athletes.
they play well off each other. You know
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why they
I
put them
and
on opposite ends of the panel.
Yeah. Here's the thing: rich athletes, rich black athletes, they end up doing good things, or they're sort of forced to do good things with their money. So they're forced to take social stands, some more than others, and some are more obvious about it. Some are more blatant about it, so that because they're trying to push positivity. And but Tiger, with the driving thing, kind of sad, kind of sad. Anyway, I wanted to mark that 29 years, Tiger Woods first winning the Masters. He will, and also one of the few who ever win back-to-back Masters. He won in '97. He won in '98. I think
Well,
only one
see,
or
the
two people.
interesting thing about what he represented was that golf wasn't as white as we thought it was.
Right, right, right.
That was really it. And for me, that was a big deal because my dad had an extra job doing maintenance at a local private country club in Millbrae.
You did golf too? Oh, I didn't know that.
And no, he did maintenance there at the golf course. And
Yeah.
so uh, during the summer, particularly, and even when I was younger, like before first grade, before
Mm.
kindergarten, he would take me there and I would just hang out, you know. Um,
They didn't let you swing. They let you swing.
well, actually, when I got to be about 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old, the manager, the golf course manager, started me out, and he started me to. But for me, the racial lines were really clear. The
Mm.
maintenance crew was black, Latino, and Filipino.
Mm.
The people who got to work the kitchen were black and Filipino, with mostly Filipinos working the kitchen and the bar. Okay,
Mm.
and so I could move freely between the bar downstairs and the kitchen upstairs.
But
Um,
the customers were all white.
Everybody's white. Everybody that they were serving was white. The grounds crew, the people who were supervisors, were all white.
Mm.
The main groundskeeper was an Italian immigrant, a
Mm.
really nice guy, um, and but the lines of segregation and the status, the kind of jobs that people have, were clearly racial. The other thing is, on the approach up Millbrae Avenue to the front of the country club, were all of these little ranch type houses, right? Clearly middle class, leave it to
Yeah.
beaver style houses and stuff. And the lawn ornaments were caricaturish black. I thought they were jockeys, but I understood later that they weren't jockeys. They were just handlers, right? So they
Ah.
were the horse handlers, but they weren't jockeys, right? Because jockeys were also racially stratified
Right.
positions,
Right.
right?
Right.
And the other lawn decorations were siesta time Mexicans with
Mm.
sombreros leaning up against the wall,
See, this
right?
is This is America back then. This is America back then, and we've seen it. We've lived through. We've
So so
survived it.
so for me, the Combination was the first major. I mean, I'm trying to remember the Latino's name.
Uh, well, we had Lee Trevino, we had Nancy
Lee Trevino.
Lopez,
Yeah,
and Nancy Lopez on the women's side.
yeah, yeah.
And a lot of them, they did the same thing. They started, they were sons and daughters of the maintenance or a caddy
That's
or
right.
something, and because golf is a classist, elitist sport. I mean, even at the municipal level. Well,
Yeah,
municipal level, all right, it might cost $20 or $30 a round, maybe 35. But
but the 9 hole on the west end of Goldgate Park.
yeah, yeah, the 9 hole, yeah,
That's
or
that's the cheapest.
yeah. There's a cheap place I used to play at Buchanan Field in Concord. That was real cheap. And then I played golf for a little bit. It was fun, but it was I realized I was not going to be really good at it, and so it had to be fun. And it was fun when I played in Hawaii with a bunch of guys, and usually end up with a big meal at the end of the game. Somewhere, go out to eat, drink.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It was more social than anything.
Yeah, in Hawaii it would be really fun because the population over there is so Asian.
Yeah, and the courses are good, and but in the end, it was really a matter of, man, it takes a lot of time, and I'm
Yeah.
not getting any better. I mean,
What was
I
weird was weird in the Philippines that they cater to the world in terms of their golf courses.
yeah,
You
whack whack.
know, well, there are a huge number of golf courses all around the Metro Manila area.
Sure, yeah.
And and
Dami
in and in
dami manotok.
and in the upscale residential areas, south of Manila, uh, they got 6 or 7 major league global quality, right?
Mm,
World quality golf courses.
yeah.
Near Taal, towards
Taal,
Taal, the whole
oh,
area
Mount
around there.
Taal. Yeah.
Yep.
So
But
yeah. So did
anyway,
you did you play? Did you play?
what over in the Philippines?
Or do you like to play golf? Do you golf? I have not.
No, I have played golf, and I don't know if I was very good at it. I would try to go to the driving range and get my range up, but I was inconsistent. I have the same problem with golf in terms of consistent swing
Mm.
as I have with my tennis serve.
Oh,
It's
I
just
know you're
really
better in
inconsistent.
tennis. You're better in tennis.
Yeah, yeah,
You're better in tennis.
and I was never very good, but I was good. I was better.
Yeah. Well, that
You know.
swing actually, if you look at the teachers, they'll say the swing is sort of in the same motion as a tennis racket.
Right, it
That's what they
is.
say.
Well, almost all swings are the same. Baseball swing, all the rest of that. But the thing is, that point of contact has to be consistent,
Oh yeah.
and I was
Don't
inconsistent. I couldn't get that same point
don't
of
hit it
contact.
back there. Hit it up here, or hit it. Don't be late. Don't be early.
Right. I'm literally at the point of
Yeah.
contact, right off the tee, or off the turf if you were further down
The
range.
the
But
sweet spot. Do you not hit the sweet spot?
not not consistent. I was getting better at tennis. Sweet spot on the forehand and the backhand. Especially the backhand. I've gotten a lot of improvement on the backhand. The problem is everybody in my age can't play anymore.
Ah.
I'm one of the few guys that still got good knees.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know, I know.
Uh,
Well, that's the thing. Good knees, good hips, bad gallbladder. But actually, I used to play soccer up until maybe I don't know 5, 6 years ago. I would jump up, and my mind was going for the ball, but my body was holding me down, and I was going to head the ball, and
I understand
I
it.
was gonna hit it, and then one time I did it, and I heard a snap, and it was my hamstring, and oh my god,
Oh
when you hear
no.
a pop like
Oh,
that, oh my god, I'm like
Oh,
barely walking. I'm driving to the nearest supermarket to get some peas, and corn, and frozen peas and corn sticking under my hamstring so I can drive home. Yes, that was one of the days that shall live in infamy in the Emil Guillermo
oh yeah. The
sports
thing
history.
that did it for me was I didn't warm up and I pretended as though I could still throw a butterfly kick,
Oh,
and that was a real threat to my hammy. The inside hammy, the one that goes right up to your
butterfly
crotch.
kick, huh? Wow, that's
Yeah.
like I can't even imagine you doing 180, let alone 360. But
Yeah, it's a butterfly kick because you lead with either the left or the right, and you follow with a crescent kick from the other leg.
ah,
So that's what makes it a
it makes
butterfly.
it. Oh, I see, I see. So it wasn't exactly 360, but it was like left and right.
No, I never was able to do you, you know the 180 I could do a little
Yeah,
bit, but I never liked that anyway. I thought just perfecting a good front kick and side kick were good
yeah.
enough.
And then the
That's
rest you leave up to negotiation. Send in JD Vance,
yeah.
negotiate, and then everything's fine. So Dan, so Tiger, we talked Kamala, and they're still waiting for that thing to land. So we have landed on Earth faster than Artemis 2. So congrats. Congrats, my friend.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have landed faster.
yeah. Well, I'm still looking at and there's still it's like at least 40 minutes or
Yeah,
something
they're
more.
not they're just teasing. They're saying, "Hey, we just want to talk about it so that we can kill a bunch of news time." And but it's going to be a while. So
Yeah, some of these guys are playing video games.
see, we kept
Hello.
disconnecting. Anyway, all right. So Dan, it's time to say,
Thanks for having me on once again. It's always great to spend a little bit of Friday time with you.
yeah, always good to talk about the
Uh,
news, especially when the news was so, maybe down, maybe down.
well, it's been weird. This was a really bad Trump week. This is bad Trump week. No matter how they spin it, you know, the most of the real world now has caught up to Trump. It's just that the U.S. has lost such position
Oh yeah,
and relationship.
is it?
It's
I mean,
horrible,
we are
man.
not we can't say leader of the free world anymore, right?
No more.
We can't say that. I mean,
No more.
who
That's
is the
over.
leader of the free world?
I think. Well, it's not anybody right now, we're becoming. We're doing a great job of promoting China.
Yeah, yeah, and not only that,
You
we're
know, as the leader of the world, not the free world, but the leader of the
right.
world.
We're not the
As
leader.
far as the free world is concerned, I don't think there is a leader of the free world. I don't think there is one.
The free world is
You know.
not when we're backing Orban in Hungary. I mean, yeah, here's the thing about,
Yeah. What is it?
huh?
Yeah. Go
Here's
ahead.
the thing about
Go ahead.
backing Orban. Autocrats only like an election that they win. They question every election they don't win. And they can't accept any election win where they do not win 100% of the vote, which sounds a lot like Saddam Hussein when he ran for president in Iraq. And that's kind of where we are with, Trump and wanting to, mess around with the midterms. So, yeah. Well, all right. So listen, Dan, we're splashing down. Artemis, we
Yeah.
beat
Yeah.
Artemis 2. Congratulations.
My hopes are for a safe return, and we'll be talking about what this all means for the future of American investment in space.
Oh, yeah. Or just
Uh,
investments, period.
we're going to be busy trying to. Are you going to invest in with the arms
Oh,
manufacturers?
no, no.
Because in order to replenish,
I just think it's real.
you can make a lot of money,
It's
man.
crazy.
All you got to
Yeah.
do You
So
know, just
Raytheon,
invest in
Raytheon,
Raytheon. Yeah,
Lockheed,
that was words right out of my
Lockheed
mouth. Yep,
Martin.
that's it.
You know, Norm Mineta was with
Yep,
Lockheed Martin. That's how I know Lockheed Martin
yep.
is Norm.
Yeah, Norm, it makes sense because there were a lot of Japanese American engineers
Yeah.
that worked for Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
always into planes and all the planes, trains, automobiles, and he was Commerce and Transportation Secretary.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Commerce and Transportation.
yeah. Well, both. He was
Turned me
both.
on, and
Yeah,
please give my regards to the family and all.
yeah, and we'll stay in touch. Hey, stay on. Don't leave when I say goodbye because I got to
Oh,
ask you
okay.
something. All right, all
All
right. So
right. All right.
there he goes, my friend
Peace out.
Daniel Phil
Messages to
Gonzalez.
all.
Okay, there he goes. College of Ethnic Studies, Asian American Studies, Professor Emeritus. Tus. Um, so that's a show. It's going to be a while now. They're nine. I thought it was 9 minutes away. They're 9,000 miles away from landing. And that's so. Anyway, hey, so I'm Emil. Thank you for joining us. We talk online here on Emil Amok's Takeout. See, I got a new thing there. 69 Emil Amok. See, AI is good for something, you know. I'm doing my shows in, I believe, San Diego and in Atlanta coming up in May. But now I want to tell you May 2nd and 3rd, May 2nd at the Marsh, 1 o'clock. It's a Saturday. My friends, Ethnotech, Nancy and Bob, Nancy Wong, Bob. Oh, I can't forget the full last name. He's Filipino and Japanese. He's a great guy. One of my oldest friends. They are doing a special storytelling show, Strong Like Bamboo, May 2nd at the Marsh in San Francisco, 1 o'clock. And then May 3rd, Sunday, 1 p.m. at the Oakland Asian American Cultural Center down there in Oakland, Chinatown. Check them out. They're featuring, Kikuchi Ngoho. Sorry. It's the Kikuchi part that gets me. Kikuchi Ngoho. Robert. Kikuchi Ngoho. He's good. Sings, dances, tells stories. Ethnotech is the name of their group, and their program, Strong Like Bamboo, features a multiplicity of storytellers from diverse backgrounds. So it's not just Asian. It's you'll hear personal stories. They're healing stories about our time. So check them out, and it's free. If you have trouble, sliding scale, pay what you will. Once again, May 2nd at the Marsh in San Francisco and Valencia, 1 p.m., Saturday, 1 p.m. And then Sunday, March 3rd at the Oakland Asian American Cultural Center, 1 p.m. there on Sunday, May 3rd. I'm just letting you know, go to ethnotech.org for tickets, or just to say, hey, I'm coming, but just show up. It's potentially free. It's a sliding scale thing. No one will be refused. It's important to hear these stories now. All right, that's it for me. I like to do a little meditation. Some people ask, well, how do you get by, if you're feeling pain? Are you in pain now? Well, no, I'm not in any pain now. But sometimes I'll feel like my gallbladder didn't used to talk to me. Now my gallbladder has something to say. It's in the conversation. And I feel it when it wants to express itself. And it's expressing bile so that, my stomach can break down fats. But there's this stone that's sort of blocking the way, and Easter Sunday didn't take care of the stone. The stone didn't roll away. Or maybe it jiggled. But anyway, so how do you deal with the pain? Meditation is how you deal with the pain. No drugs, no pills, meditation. A little loving kindness helps. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. and may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time.